Is the U.S. economy on the brink of recession? Latest shocking projections. The fear of a looming recession is back, and this time the alarm bells are ringing louder than ever. Just last year, concerns about economic downturns dominated global discussions, yet most economies managed to avoid disaster. But now, the focus is shifting back to the United States, with major financial institutions sounding the warning sirens once again. JPMorgan, one of the largest banks in the U.S., had previously estimated the probability of a recession at 17% in late 2023. That number has now surged to nearly 31%. Goldman Sachs also revised its predictions. Earlier this year, the bank placed recession risk at 14%, but that figure has jumped to 23%. These numbers indicate a troubling trend that cannot be ignored. So how is the U.S. leadership reacting to this? Former President Donald Trump, known for his bold economic claims, recently touted a golden age for America. Yet, when asked about the possibility of a recession, his response was surprisingly cautious. "I hate to predict things like that," he stated, acknowledging a period of economic transition, a stark contrast to his usual confidence. His Commerce Secretary, however, was more assertive, claiming that a recession is not in the cards for the U.S. But why are banks and financial experts so concerned? There are three primary factors fueling these fears. First, the U.S. stock markets are experiencing significant declines. The Nasdaq has plunged over 7% in the past month, while the Dow Jones has fallen by 3.7% and the S&P 500 has dropped by nearly 5%. Such market downturns often signal economic distress. Second, American consumers are becoming increasingly wary. Consumer spending, a key driver of the U.S. economy, accounts for 2/3 of the country's GDP. However, in January, spending decreased by 0.2%, marking the first decline since March 2023 and the largest drop in nearly 4 years. This reluctance to spend suggests a lack of consumer confidence, which could further slow economic growth. The third factor is Trump's unpredictable trade policies. He has imposed tariffs on China, but temporarily halted those on Mexico and Canada, creating uncertainty in global markets. Economists stress that stability and clear policies are crucial for sustained growth, yet Trump's approach has been anything but consistent. He views tariffs as a means to strengthen America's financial standing, stating, "We're going to take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and we're going to become so rich you're not going to know where to spend all that money." So, what does this mean for the global economy? If the U.S. were to slip into a recession, the impact would be felt worldwide. The country accounts for approximately 24% of the global GDP and is the second largest trading nation, behind only China. A downturn in the U.S. economy could trigger financial disruptions across multiple industries and international markets. However, despite these alarming indicators, there are reasons to believe that a full-blown recession may not be imminent. Key economic fundamentals remain strong. For instance, job creation remains robust. 150,000 jobs were added in February alone. Such employment growth is not typically associated with an impending economic collapse. Additionally, the decline in consumer spending in January may have been an anomaly, influenced by seasonal factors such as severe winter storms and wildfires, which tend to restrict economic activity temporarily. Many experts argue that while growth may slow, the economy is unlikely to contract for 2 consecutive quarters, a key criterion for defining a recession. Morgan Stanley, a leading financial institution, recently adjusted its projections. Initially, they expected U.S. economic growth to reach 1.9% in 2025, but they have now lowered their forecast to 1.5%. Similarly, their estimate for the following year has dropped from 1.3% to 1.2%. The primary reason? The uncertainty surrounding trade policies. Economists stress that if Trump continues his aggressive tariff strategies, the risks of economic stagnation will increase significantly. Ultimately, the fate of the U.S. economy rests heavily on policy decisions made in the coming months. If Trump continues to escalate trade wars, the consequences could be severe, not just for America, but for the entire world. On the other hand, a more measured approach could prevent disaster and sustain economic momentum. As financial experts analyze these developments, one thing is clear: uncertainty is growing, and investors, businesses, and consumers alike must prepare for potential economic turbulence. While the prospect of a U.S. recession remains uncertain, the warning signs cannot be ignored. The latest data from leading financial institutions reveal an increasing likelihood of economic slowdown, with markets struggling and consumer spending on the decline. At the center of this storm is Donald Trump's trade policies. His inconsistent approach to tariffs has left businesses and investors questioning the stability of the economy. However, strong job growth and resilient economic fundamentals offer a glimmer of hope. While the risk of contraction looms, a full-scale recession may still be avoided. Moving forward, all eyes will be on policy shifts and economic indicators to determine whether the U.S. will weather the storm or plunge into financial instability. For now, the question remains: will Trump's economic decisions steer America towards prosperity, or is the country heading towards a financial downturn? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth reports on global economic trends. Stay tuned for our next video, where we break down the biggest financial risks facing the world in 2025. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.